We are about to dive into a bold and strategic decision made by none other than the fearless leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Once again, he has demonstrated that his primary focus is the well-being of his people rather than catering to external influences. His leadership continues to be a source of pride for Africans, particularly the younger generation, who see in him a vision of true independence and progress. Recently, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reached out to President Traore with a grand proposal, an offer to construct 200 mosques in Burkina Faso during Ramadan. For many, such a generous offer would be too good to refuse. After all, who wouldn't welcome a gift of that magnitude? However, President Traore saw things differently. While he expressed gratitude for the gesture, he countered with a different request, one that reflected his deep understanding of his nation's needs. "As a Muslim, I appreciate the kind offer," he responded, "but our country already has enough mosques. What we truly need are factories, schools, and hospitals. Our people deserve to be educated, healthy, and employed." His response was not a rejection of religious contributions, but a powerful statement about Burkina Faso's priorities. Rather than accepting projects that, while generous, would not directly address the nation's core issues, Traore made it clear that real development lies in tangible investments that uplift the people's education, healthcare, and industrialization. Education is the backbone of any thriving nation. Without it, no country can compete in today's rapidly advancing world. By advocating for schools instead of mosques, Traore is ensuring that the future generations of Burkina Faso will have the knowledge and skills to shape their own destiny. Healthcare is another crucial pillar of national progress. Like many African nations, Burkina Faso faces significant health challenges. Preventable diseases claim lives every day, and access to quality medical care remains limited. By prioritizing hospitals over places of worship, President Traore is emphasizing the need for a strong healthcare system, one that ensures a healthy, productive population capable of driving the country forward. However, perhaps the most significant aspect of Traore's vision is his focus on industrialization. Despite being rich in natural resources, Burkina Faso remains heavily dependent on imports, a reliance that stifles economic growth and keeps the cycle of poverty in motion. Traore understands that true sovereignty lies in economic independence. Instead of merely exporting raw materials and importing finished goods, he envisions a Burkina Faso that processes its own resources, builds its own industries, and manufactures its own products. Imagine a Burkina Faso where young people have stable jobs in manufacturing, mining, and agribusiness rather than being unemployed and forced to rely solely on aid. Picture a nation producing its own vehicles, machinery, electronics, and household goods instead of importing them from abroad. That is the future Traore is fighting for. He does not seek handouts, he seeks progress. He does not want temporary relief, he wants long-term economic transformation. By making this choice, President Traore has once again shown what true leadership looks like. Instead of accepting symbolic gestures, he is demanding real investment in the future of his people. This is not just about Burkina Faso, it is about setting an example for all of Africa. The continent does not need more external aid that fosters dependency. It needs infrastructure, innovation, and self-reliance. Captain Ibrahim Traore fully understands the agricultural potential of Burkina Faso. Instead of investing in more mosques, why not channel resources into irrigation systems, modern farming techniques, and agro-processing industries? That's exactly what he's doing. Under his leadership, the government is expanding access to tractors, storage silos, and food processing plants to ensure that crops like wheat, rice, maize, and tomatoes are produced in abundance. Burkina Faso is on a mission to achieve food sovereignty. Thanks to Traoré's commitment to prioritizing agriculture, future generations will no longer rely on imported wheat from Europe or rice from Asia. Instead, Burkina Faso will be able to feed itself and eventually become a major food supplier for the rest of Africa. While some leaders focus on constructing grand religious buildings, President Traoré is putting his energy into something even more essential: housing for the people. Did you know that on July 12, 2024, he launched a project to build 1,000 social housing units? And that's just the beginning. By 2030, his goal is to ensure that every Burkinabe has a safe and affordable place to live. What good is a mosque if families are forced to sleep on the streets? Instead of spending billions on religious structures, why not invest in proper roads, clean water, electricity, and affordable homes? That is what true leadership looks like. Once again, we applaud Captain Ibrahim Traoré for putting the needs of his people above all else. A nation's future is built on the foundation of education and healthcare. Prioritizing these sectors means long-term prosperity for generations to come. By choosing schools and hospitals over 200 mosques, President Traoré is sending a powerful message. Burkina Faso is moving forward, not staying stagnant. This country will not remain underdeveloped. It doesn't need empty prayer halls, it needs classrooms equipped with books and computers. It needs more than places of worship. It needs modern hospitals staffed with skilled medical professionals and stocked with cutting-edge medicine. Traoré's vision aligns with a healthier, more educated Burkina Faso. Imagine a nation where children don't just memorize religious texts, but also learn science, engineering, and technology. A country where no one dies from preventable diseases because healthcare is accessible to all. The world is advancing rapidly, and Burkina Faso cannot afford to be left behind. Captain Traoré understands this. He knows that investing in digital transformation and modern technology isn't an option. It's a necessity. Burkina Faso's youth must be trained in fields like engineering, robotics, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. Instead of depending on foreign aid and religious donations, Traoré seeks partnerships that bring real innovation. Imagine a Burkina Faso where young minds develop groundbreaking ideas, where businesses thrive, and where every village is connected through digital infrastructure. One of the most remarkable things about Captain Traoré is his unwavering stand against foreign dependence. While some leaders bow to external pressures, he refuses to let Burkina Faso be dictated by outsiders. He has turned down unnecessary religious infrastructure projects and rejected financial control from institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF. While other politicians are busy begging for foreign assistance, Traoré is mobilizing internal resources to fund crucial projects. By empowering local businesses and industries, he is ensuring that Burkina Faso's wealth remains within the country, instead of flowing abroad. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has made it clear: the future of Burkina Faso lies in its people, not in foreign interests. His decision to prioritize real development over 200 mosques is a masterstroke of visionary leadership. This is exactly what Africa needs: more hospitals, more schools, more industries, and more investment in technology. This is how Burkina Faso rises. This is how Africa becomes powerful. The world needs to recognize that a new era is unfolding, and Burkina Faso is at the forefront of change. Recent reports indicate that on March 19th, Captain Ibrahim Traoré made a bold and strategic decision, one that reaffirmed his commitment to national progress over external influences. When Saudi Arabia offered to finance the construction of 200 mosques across Burkina Faso, he respectfully declined. Instead, he urged the kingdom to channel those funds into infrastructure projects that would have a direct and lasting impact on his people's hospitals, schools, and industries that generate employment and economic growth. President Traoré emphasized a crucial point. Burkina Faso already has an abundance of mosques, many of which are underutilized. What the country truly needs is development initiatives that will reduce dependency, drive innovation, and uplift communities. His leadership is not about short-term gestures, but about ensuring long-term prosperity. Since assuming office, Traoré has made it clear that strengthening Burkina Faso's public infrastructure is a top priority. His administration has implemented reforms to improve how projects are planned, executed, and monitored. Now, the Ministry of Housing oversees all stages of public construction, ensuring strict adherence to technical, environmental, and safety standards. Beyond infrastructure, the president has also taken decisive action to address the housing crisis, particularly for internally displaced people affected by security challenges. While many nations continue to rely on international financial institutions, President Traoré has taken a different path. He has turned away financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, choosing instead to mobilize domestic resources to fund key development projects. His approach focuses on sustainable growth, strengthening local industries, and revitalizing agriculture to create a self-sufficient economy. The rejection of the Saudi Mosque project is not merely a refusal of foreign aid, it is a declaration of Burkina Faso's commitment to economic empowerment, healthcare, and education. These are the pillars upon which a nation's future is built. Why is this decision so significant? Because economic self-sufficiency is the foundation of national progress. While industrialization allows Burkina Faso to take control of its future, relying on foreign-funded religious structures fosters dependency on external benefactors. The choice is clear: prosperity through production, not reliance on donations. Burkina Faso is at a pivotal moment. The decisions made today will determine whether the country remains dependent on external aid or rises as an independent, self-reliant force in Africa. The Saudi proposal to fund 200 mosques may carry cultural and religious significance, but the long-term economic benefits of prioritizing industrialization far outweigh the short-term symbolism of such projects. A strong industrial sector has the power to transform a nation. It provides employment, particularly for young people, one of the most affected demographics when it comes to joblessness. Unlike mosques, which primarily serve spiritual and social functions, industries directly contribute to national wealth by paying wages, advancing skill development, and fostering technological innovation. Through taxes, company licenses, and higher production, an emphasis on industrialization increases government revenue. Burkina Faso can diversify its sources of income and lessen its dependency on loans and aid from other sources if it has a robust manufacturing sector. Burkina Faso can establish itself as a center of African industrialization and attract investors by turning down the mosque project and focusing on industrial expansion. For industrial cooperation, nations like China, Turkey, and India are aggressively looking for African partners. Burkina Faso can establish itself as a center of African industrialization and attract investors by turning down the mosque project and focusing on industrial expansion. A robust manufacturing base is fostered by industrialization, allowing the nation to produce goods and services that increase economic resilience, create jobs, and generate income. Investments in sectors including mining, agriculture, textiles, and energy generation might help Burkina Faso utilize its resources for sustained economic viability. By fostering the growth of domestic businesses, industrialization helps to improve the trade balance by lowering imports and raising exports. For a small number of people, the building of 200 mosques might result in short-term job prospects, but these are hardly long-term economic stability. Conversely, industrialization results in the construction of factories, processing facilities, and commercial businesses, which offer thousands of Burkinabe residents long-term employment prospects. Many of the unemployed can be absorbed by a thriving industrial sector, especially young people who are frequently the most impacted by unemployment. In contrast to mosques, which are primarily used for social and religious purposes, industrial ventures directly boost economic growth by creating jobs, improving skills, and advancing technology. Burkina Faso can diversify its sources of income and lessen its dependency on loans and aid from other sources if it has a robust manufacturing sector. The government will be able to collect more taxes from profitable firms and reinvest them in vital services like healthcare, education, and transportation networks if the mosque proposal is rejected and instead investments are made in manufacturing, processing facilities, and infrastructure. Despite Burkina Faso's enormous agricultural potential, the nation is nonetheless mired in a cycle of importing completed commodities and exporting raw resources in the absence of industrialization. By strategically moving toward agro-processing sectors, the country would be able to enhance the value of its agricultural products, boosting its profitability and lowering losses after harvest. Jobs and exports would be generated by investing in agro-industries such as food processing facilities, dairy production, and cotton textile manufacture. In contrast to the building of mosques, which does not increase GDP, industrial agricultural projects would increase food security, stabilize prices, and raise farmer wages. Countries that put industrialization ahead of religious infrastructure projects are more likely to attract foreign investment. Burkina Faso may draw in investors seeking stable and lucrative markets by concentrating on building manufacturing facilities, technology clusters, and renewable energy projects. Burkina Faso has a tremendous opportunity to transform its economy by focusing on industrial growth, particularly in agro-processing. By investing in industries that refine and add value to agricultural products, the country can increase profitability and significantly reduce post-harvest losses. While religious structures like mosques serve an important spiritual purpose, they do not provide the same broad economic and social benefits that industrial development can bring. Many African nations struggle with trade imbalances due to their heavy reliance on imports. Burkina Faso has the potential to break this cycle by developing industries that produce essential goods domestically. By shifting its focus from foreign-funded religious projects to local manufacturing, the country can strengthen its economy, stabilize its currency, and reduce the outflow of wealth to foreign markets. Keeping financial resources within the country through a strong industrial sector allows for long-term economic sustainability. If Burkina Faso prioritizes industrialization, it can set an example for other African nations facing similar economic challenges. A successful industrial transformation would not only create jobs, but also inspire regional cooperation and economic integration. The country can invest in training local engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs, equipping them with the skills needed to develop homegrown solutions to industrial and technological challenges. This shift will encourage innovation and pave the way for lasting economic prosperity. Beyond just financial benefits, industrialization fosters social stability. When people have access to stable jobs and reliable incomes, they are less likely to be drawn into social unrest or extremist ideologies. A nation that focuses on economic empowerment through industry builds a more peaceful and prosperous society. Moreover, industrial expansion necessitates the construction of essential infrastructure such as roads, railways, power plants, and communication networks, developments that enhance overall productivity and improve the standard of living for all citizens. A well-developed infrastructure attracts investors and makes local industries more competitive. Unlike the construction of mosques, which do not contribute to GDP, investments in agriculture and industrial production can boost food security, stabilize market prices, and improve farmers' earnings. Burkina Faso, with its strategic location, has the potential to become a leader in West African industrialization, positioning itself as a central hub for trade and manufacturing. This would significantly boost its economic influence and geopolitical standing in the region. When considering Burkina Faso's economic future, strategic decision-making is critical. While religious and cultural institutions have their place in society, prioritizing industrialization offers undeniable financial and developmental benefits. By choosing to focus on economic growth rather than accepting foreign-funded religious projects, Burkina Faso can accelerate its progress, create employment opportunities, enhance national infrastructure, and ultimately improve the quality of life for its citizens. Rejecting the 200 mosque proposal in favor of industrialization is a bold step toward self-reliance. A strong industrial sector will ensure economic independence, attract investments, and reduce dependency on foreign aid. With smart leadership and the right priorities, Burkina Faso can achieve rapid and sustainable growth, securing a better future for generations to come. This concludes our video for today. To receive future video updates, please hit the bell button, like, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you tomorrow at the same hour. We appreciate you watching.